Hi there. In this lesson, I'm going to look at pie charts, and in particular how to calculate the amount of people or whatever in a particular section of the pie chart. So you can see I've got a pie chart here, and it's split into 10 equal sectors, if you like. So that's a section 1, 2, 3, 4, 5's halfway, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, it doesn't really matter what this pie chart is about. It could be about anything at all. I'm just going to show you how to work out, say, for example, how many people in the red bit, how many people in the blue bit, how many people in the green bit, and how many people in the white bit. So the first thing I need to know, and you always need to know, is how many people are in the whole pie chart, the whole survey. So the number of people in the survey, I'm going to make it 120. Nice number to work with. Right, so the way to look at this is to split the pie chart into either fractions, and because fractions and percentages are the same thing, we can think of them as percentages as well, and then you can either work with percentages or fractions, whichever you feel most comfortable with. So let's start with the red bit. Now, I know the red bit's 2 out of a total of 10. See, there's 2 bits here out of a total of 10, so I know that's 2 tenths. Now, I'm sorry, I'm going to write it like this, just because my keyboard's typing like that. So that's 2 tenths. But hopefully we know that 2 tenths is the same as 20%. And if you don't know that, then maybe have a look back at the percentages lessons. But 1 tenth is 10%, so 2 tenths is 20%. So the red bit, and I'll get to the number of people in a minute, the red bit is 2 tenths, or it's 20%. Okay, right, well, let's move on to the blue bit. So the blue bit I can see is 1 tenth. So it's just 1 tenth there, but I should know again that's 10%. 100 divided by 10 is just 10%. So I can write that down here if I like. So the blue bit's 1 tenth, or it's just 10%. We can see the green bit's 3 parts out of 10, so that's 3 tenths. And you can see this is the same thing every time. And 3 tenths is 30%. And again, I'll just rub that out down here. So we've got 3 tenths for that bit, or 30%. And the last is the white bit. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Count the jumps, not the wee lines coming out, because if you count the wee lines coming out, you'll say 3, but it's actually split into 1, 2, 3, 4 parts. So that's 4 tenths. And again, we should know that 4 tenths by now is the same as 40%. Right, so how do I work out, if the whole pie is 120 people, how do I know how many is in the red part? Well, 2 tenths of 120, or 20% of 120, whichever you're most comfortable with. So you've got to find that, and then you'll be able to work out how many people are in the red part. So to work out 2 tenths, you would divide it by 10 and double it. And to get 20%, you could either divide by 5, or you could get 10% first by dividing by 10 and then doubling it. It gives you the same answer, but it's basically 24. And that's that done. So that's how many people are in the red bit. So to get the number of people in the blue bit, you could actually just half that, or you could work out 1 tenth of 120, or 10%, because those are the same things. So to get 10%, you divide by 10. To get 1 tenth, you divide by 10, and that's going to give you 12. So there's 12 people in the blue bit, and there's 24 in the red bit. To get the green bit, we've got 3 tenths of 120, the whole thing, or 30% of 120, again the same idea. So divide by 10 to get 10%, and then times by 3 is going to give you 36, or divide by 10 and times by 3 is going to give you 36. And the last one is 4 tenths, isn't it? So 4 tenths, or 40% of 120. So divide by 10 to get 10%, it's 12, and then times it by 4, and you're going to get 48. Same to get 4 tenths of that amount. Now what you should notice is if you add all these up here, you'll get back to your 120. And that's basically how you can do it. You can either do it with percentages or fractions of this amount of the total pie chart.